Welcome back, kings, queens, and bankruptcy enthusiasts. Today, we're not talking about the easiest nations or the most powerful ones. We're talking about the ones that are actually fun to play. These nations give you wild campaigns, weird stories, and those I can't believe that actually worked moments. So if you're tired of min-maxing and just want a run that feels more alive, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to give you 5 nations that you need to try in EU5. Before we get started, if you like management games, please go check out our game, Winter Reach Emporium, in the description. It's a cozy shopkeeper game coming out early 2026. Without further ado, let's get into the list. Number 5 is Scotland. So Scotland has been updated and it is way better to play than it was in EU4. Typically in EU4, I did not enjoy playing Scotland, but where EU5 is different is Scotland is way more fun. You'll actually start in the midst of a civil war. You'll try to reestablish the De Bruce dynasty. Gives you an immediate stakes to your campaign. The early game signature moves that you'll have to do is winning that civil war, annexing your vassals. They're really easy to annex. You already start with really positive relations. Befriend France and tag team England. I really enjoy Scotland. I think it's a pretty unique campaign to play. A lot of people might go play England. They might go play one of the Ireland nations. Scotland is actually a lot of fun, and it's actually one of my favorite campaigns that I've played so far. Scotland's late game has a lot of flavor as well. You can try to form Great Britain as Scotland. You can focus on colonial traditions and become a Highlander colonial empire. You could try to claim the French crown. You can establish a trade empire in the North Sea, or you can just try to stay independent and refuse to reform Britain. Scotland has a lot of flavor, and it is actually one of the most enjoyable campaigns. I think it's going to sit here at number 5 because there's some more unique campaigns. I think a lot of people probably have played Scotland because Scotland is a pretty popular pick, but I think it definitely is a good country to be number 5. And at number 4, we have the Mali Empire, the world's richest dumpster fire, the nation that starts with infinite money and still finds a way to go broke. You're playing as Mansa Musa and then his successor. You're not rich, you're economically irresponsible on a global scale. You're not rich, you're economically irresponsible on a global scale. In the early game, you start loaded. You have gold mines everywhere, a fat treasury, and trade routes dripping wealth. But here's the catch. The same gold starts eating your economy alive. Your inflation rises, and all of your vassals start to hate you. So what do you need to do? Consolidate your heartland, build up trade and infrastructure, but more importantly, don't build 12 gold mines at once. The mid-game is where this playthrough starts to heat up, when Europe starts to show their face in Africa. Hopefully by that point you've built a big enough empire to resist. If not, Portugal or Castile or England could eat you alive. The plan: fortify your coastlines or buy alliances. Mid-game Mali is the part where you realize being rich doesn't stop other people from robbing you. It just makes them better organized. Assuming you survived the Europeans, in the late game, you can look to colonize the New World, dominate the Sahara, or just invade Spain out of spite. Turn your gold into a navy, control trade from West Africa to the Caribbean, and make Europe your personal investment portfolio. Why Mali is fun? Mali is a little bit of a slower start than most countries. You pretty much just have to build up and consolidate what's around you, and you don't really have any existential threats until Europeans start exploring. Once they do, though, you'll have to contend with the world's largest empires that you didn't have any opportunity to do anything about earlier. So a lot of times you'll end up facing strong countries later on in the game, and you weren't able to curb them early. I think that this makes a really fun playthrough, and it's probably something that a lot of people don't play. Most people don't play outside of Europe. I know I really don't, but Mali is actually a really fun campaign, and I definitely recommend it. So that's why it's number 4. Number 3 is Upper Bavaria. Upper Bavaria is actually one of my favorite countries. It is a great candidate to play tall and diplomatic inside of the HRE. I think I had to throw an HRE country on this list. The things that make Upper Bavaria fun and unique is it's not about rushing conquest, it's about playing the long game. You're the 4th player in a great HRE power square. You have Austria, Bohemia, and Brandenburg to contend with. Everyone else is busy trying to control the empire, so you can quietly become the richest, most stable duchy. The unique gameplay loops of Upper Bavaria is consolidating Bavaria, so Bavaria starts splintered, and you can try to consolidate it all. You can play tall, build up your economy, your infrastructure, your prestige, your alliances, wait, watch, and be patient, and when the HRE inevitably explodes, you can be there to pick up the pieces. This run hits different because you don't expand through pure force, you can manipulate the political ecosystem, and it's also a great way to learn the game. You become a duchy that's too valuable to fight and too influential to ignore. Upper Bavaria is a slow burn political thriller of an EU5 campaign, and when you're finally big, rich, and respected, it feels earned and not just handed to you. It's a tough campaign, but being the emperor as Bavaria is very satisfying. So that's why I put Upper Bavaria as the number 3 country that you need to try. And at number 2, we have Serbia. So Serbia is actually, I think, underrated, probably one of the best campaigns, period, to play. You'll start the game with Casus Belli's on Byzantium. This means you can have an immediate expansion target into Greece. You'll also be given gold and silver mines in an event. As we know, Serbia starts in the center of the Balkans, which is a tumultuous location. Your core objectives are going to be to hold the Balkans, defeat the Byzantines, defeat the Hungarians even, and eventually defeat the Ottomans. The country is rich in resources. You can also find some good allies in the area. I found Wallachia to be a really good ally. And you can pull off some really cursed things like a fully united Balkan Serbia. It just looks crazy on the map. So I think this is a really, really fun, underrated campaign. I think it's actually underrated in power level. You see Serbia and it looks really big, and then you're like, well, it's Serbia, so it can't be that strong. When you play them, they actually do feel really strong. A couple things you will have to watch out for in this campaign is if it is a multiplayer campaign, a good Ottoman player definitely could take you out, or a good Hungarian player could definitely take you out. So if you are going to play Serbia, especially multiplayer, make sure that the Hungarian player doesn't want to kill you, and that you stay one step ahead of the Ottoman player. But my number 2 is Serbia. Super underrated. Give them a try. You won't regret it. And last but not least is Holland. So Holland was one of my favorite nations, probably my second favorite nation to play in EU4, and it returns again in a big way. They start off really small, but actually kind of in a better position than you did in EU4. You're not in any kind of union or anything. Your provinces are rich. Your goal is to hold off against France, England, and anyone around who would look to take you over, build your trade empire, and transform into the Netherlands. Currently, Holland is actually kind of hard to exist on. France seems to be a little bit overpowered in the current state of the game. So if anyone is playing France, or even AI France looks to come take you, it is going to be really hard to resist. You do get your own trade market in EU5 for Holland, and it is really easy to consolidate that and make it a really big trade empire. The things that you will have to do are get good allies. That is the number one way that Holland can exist, is getting good, strong allies. I recommend nations like Austria, Bohemia, or even France. France might eventually turn on you, but early game France is really strong. You could also ally early game England, but you will have to fight the hordes of French vassals. This is my number 1 though. If you're loading into a game, multiplayer, single player, and you can't find a nation to play, Holland is an easy choice because it is a really fun nation. It is really interesting, and they have tons of unique events and modifiers. I'm a huge fan of Holland, and I can't wait to play a full campaign as Holland. Alright guys, if you enjoyed that video, please like, comment, subscribe. It is a huge help. Please let me know in the comments what nations you want to play, what nations you have played, and what your favorite nations are to play. And don't forget to check out Winter Reach Emporium in the description. Thanks guys.